Okay, let's go. We are live, peoples. This is Everyone's a Pundit, and I am your host, Patrick Tyrant. I am joined, ironically, it's All-Star Weekend this weekend, and I'm joined by an All-Star cast. I'll let the guys introduce themselves, and I will start. Oh, of course, my name is Patrick Tyrant. You guys should know me. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, you know it represents T. Let's go. And then we've got Pops Mensah Bonsu. Pops, talk your talk. Let us know who you are.
Pops Mensah Bonsu, born and bred Tottenham High Road, former NBA player, now work for the New York Knicks, president of their G League team, and biggest Spurs fan you're going to find, figuratively and literally. Happy to be here, though.
Thank you, Pops. Thank you. Next, we've got Dan, Lawless. Please let us know where you're from and a bit about you.
Yeah, West Ham Fan TV, obviously West Ham Fan Channel. Been doing our thing for 5 years and going strong, getting up there, chasing that 100K hopefully. But we're loving the season, obviously. So I'm a happy hammer. So I'm glad to be here, though.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. You're doing big things, so it's our pleasure and a privilege to have you on here. So thank you very much. Cy Cole, talk your talk, young fella.
The most depressed guy right now, walking around. Oh, geez, yeah. Liverpool fan, still got the faith in Klopp. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to take a beating today. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've got a lot of humble pie out here, so yeah.
Oh man, don't worry, we'll get into all of that in a minute. And last but not least, it's my guy and resident pundit. Please introduce yourself and talk your talk.
Yeah, you guys already know me. It's your boy, Mr. Jason Alex. Come on. I'm a big-time Arsenal fan.
He's feeling, okay, so everyone knows he's feeling a bit down this
Yeah, I'm a bit under the weather today, so you have to bear with me, man.
That's it. So he come on, even though he's not feeling good. So ratings to him, it's not because of the results, which we'll get into. So big respect to Mr. Jason Alex. He's always here. Come, rain, hail, sleet, snow, whatever. So yeah, but all right, cool. Well, this weekend saw a mixed bag of results. We had Burnley. Well, it kicked off with Burnley 1, Arsenal 1. We had Sheffield United 0, Southampton 2, which kind of, you would have expected that. Aston Villa 0, Wolves 0. Then we had Brighton 1, Leicester 2. We'll get into that one and why it kind of pissed me off. Then on Sunday, we started with West Brom 0, Newcastle 0. Liverpool 0, Fulham 1. That was a big shocker, which we'll get into. Man City 0, Man United 2. So the Manchester derby. Again, that was a bit of a surprise. Obviously, Man United on the day can beat anyone, but I didn't see that one coming. And last but not least, tonight we had Spurs 4, Crystal Palace 1. So yeah,
that was a shocker.
I thought we would have scored 5. I thought we were going to score 5.
This year I've been taking a lot of corn from West Ham fans. So you see that? Even though we win, they're still giving it to me. So
I'm just annoyed because I was happy at half time, and then I literally went downstairs to do the washing up, came back up, and I was like, "What? Where did these 2 goals come from?"
I know it's mad because
I'm still bitter.
Yeah, I mean, I missed Benteke's goal in real life. I literally stepped out. I was like, okay, cool. They're going to blow the whistle for half time. And then I come back and I see all I heard is, Lloris had no chance with that. Benteke. I was like, what? And I looked, it was 1-1. I was thinking, man, here we go. Because we completely bossed them in that first half. We had 65% possession, spraying the ball around. They did literally nothing. And then before we knew it was 1-1. And I was like, please don't tell me they're going to do what we do when we go to obviously the better teams and set up shop and then, nick it on the counter and stuff. So it was a bit of a shock to see that, but what's going on here? It says
I can hear you, all right?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's distorted, but I can hear you.
Is it distorted?
It sounds normal to me.
I can hear you. But I can hear you.
I can't hear him. That's what this person's saying. So shout out.
Can they hear the rest of us?
Yeah, can you hear the rest of us? T_NDY.
Because we can all hear you fine. If maybe it's a Twitch thing. If he's coming from Twitch.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe their service.
Let me know, because from what I know, my mic should be all right.
Yeah.
They might be in them hybrid ends or something like that. That's probably why the internet is off a little bit. So if they're in that area, then bear with.
Let's sounds fine. Okay, Foddy. Thank you, Foddy. Appreciate that, my guy. So let's continue. That threw me off for a bit. So I'm glad that we checked that. Might check 1-2, and all that. But okay, let's start with Burnley Arsenal. Jay, let us know how you feel. I mean, it was a 1-1 game. Do you think that was a fair result?
You know what, yeah? We can only have ourselves to blame, yeah, for that mistake from Leno, Jacko, whatever, because we was in full control of that game. We hit the post at the dying end. We had other chances. Saka had a chance in the first half. He should have buried that. But the handball one, man, that is a blatant penalty, yeah? No one can tell me that that's not a penalty. I'm not hearing because he was too close or whatever. A handball's a handball, yeah? I'm just saying, because I think I read something about the ref said something about proximity or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, a handball's a handball. You get what I'm saying? So, like, we played well. There are certain times where I felt we played too casual. Like, we was inviting pressure, passing it around casually. We wasn't being as direct against Burnley. And it just invited them on to pressure us. And hence why Jacka made that mistake, because they were pressuring us. You know, sometimes I feel like it's good to play out from the back. It looks all pretty and stuff. But, you know, when a team's pushing you high, you got to go long sometimes, man. I mean, we scored our goal from passing out from the back, which was a good goal. But sometimes you got to learn to mix it up, man. You get what I'm saying? I just felt that we just didn't help ourselves in that instance. And yeah, it's a shit result, to be honest with you. Like, I wasn't happy with it. Like, I got so mad, actually damaged my laptop, man. Fuming.
Wow. You were fuming.
Yeah, I got so pissed off. Yeah. But it's all right. It's a minor. I'll get it sorted. But yeah, man, like, we should have won that game comfortably.
It was a shocker, to be fair. I mean, I saw the handball, and to be fair, even though I was banging on Twitter saying, proximity, it's not a handball, that's a stonewall penalty.
Well, it's a penalty. Forget the top passing thing. That is a penalty.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I thought that was a penalty all day.
If that was an Arsenal player, if we was attacking, yeah, and an Arsenal player and a Burnley defender tried to clear it and it hit one of our arms and it deflected to one of our players and we scored from it, they'd rule it out for handball.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked by that.
Yeah, that's the rule.
I know the rules are different offensively and defensively, which again is another minefield, and it's hard to really understand, because when you're playing defensively and you make your basically body bigger, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But offensively, if you make your body bigger, the ball comes off your arm or your hand, they're always going to chalk it off. They're looking
but at defensively, though, Pat.
Yeah.
But defensively, you can't have your hands anywhere in plain sight, because if the ball hits it, they'll blame you for that. Yeah, essentially,
exactly. That's
right?
why you see defenders jockeying with their arms behind their back now.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy had his
arm
out.
It's like that. Like, you got the ref that refereed. Was it the Man United game today? Not Andre Mariner. What was his name?
Yeah.
I forgot his name. He was the one that was at Stockley Park.
Anthony Taylor.
Yeah,
Anthony
he was.
Taylor.
There's a one. He ref. What game did he ref today? I think it was the Liverpool game. Sorry, I think it was the Liverpool ref. He was the one that had done that was at Stockley Park yesterday. So I'm like, why isn't the referee gone to look at the screen for one? You get what I'm saying? Like, why is he taking his word for it?
Some of the checks are really weird as well, because some checks literally they check it for 10 seconds and that's it. But in other checks, like even today, Harry Kane's goal, which was clearly onside, he was behind the line. It was even short, and they were checking it over and over. It's like they wanted to rule it out. It was really strange.
We've got some diabolical refs in this country, man.
Yeah, and that's why none of them really make the World Cups and stuff.
Yeah,
like
bro,
that.
it's shocking, bro.
Dan, watching the game yesterday, obviously as a West Ham fan, it's great to have you on here to mix it up and stuff. What did you think of Arsenal's performance?
Yeah, I thought it was one of those, isn't it? Like where you can have all the possession in the world, but you have to take your chances. And like obviously, Xhaka and Leno have to take a large portion of the blame, but the attacking players do as well, because you know, when you're up like that, you have to bury those chances, especially how blatant some of those were. But yeah, it's a whole mad thing with the reffing because the rules are so confusing now. Like no one knows what the rule is because it changes all the time. Like they've just announced they're changing the offensive handball rule for next season, which they changed, and then like the defensive one, I think they changed halfway through the season because there was that point where like it was just handballs galore basically, and like people were getting penalties like mad. So yeah, it's confusing, but yeah, that would be if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be so frustrated because like you can have, like I said, you can have all that possession, but if you don't hit the back of the net against a team like Burnley, like it's going to get harder in the Europa League. So yeah, that's a worry for them, really.
It's not a surprising result for me, though. Yeah, it wasn't surprising. Like I said, I mean, yes, being slightly biased, coming from a Liverpool fan, but it just seems like such a weird season. Like, for some reason, I just saw a draw on that game. As much as Arsenal bossed it, I just thought Burnley's just that ugly team that they'll just. It's a bit like Palace. I actually thought Spurs would have dropped points today, but you came through. But yeah, it's a strange game. But referees are having an absolute mare this season.
Right. Shocking,
like,
man.
Absolute man. I don't like the fact that it's almost like they're not accountable for their wrongdoings. You know, like I mean, I'm big on if a referee goes to the monitor and makes the final call, whether we like it or not, I'm more big on okay, you know what? The ref said it, let's just get on with it. You're gonna be pissed, whatever. But I don't like the fact that when they have made that mistake, I think managers should have the opportunity or time to speak to them, whether it's off camera, and sort of vent their views a little bit. I think it's just BS that they can get away with that and just go on to the next game.
Because it seems like it's only football as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Other sports, you don't get it. I mean, obviously, Papa will be able to tell us how it is in like the NBA side of things, but because it feels like in football, like it's the only sport where just referees just make glaringly crazy errors on a week-to-week basis.
Nah,
Pops, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, you know, being an English guy that's lived in America for so long, and you know, watching sports over there, you know, the refs are mic'd up. You can clearly hear their decisions. What do you think about that compared to where in our league, where the referees literally can make crazy decisions and get away with it?
Oh, it sounds like you can have the football referees reffing NBA games because they just sound exactly the same. Just a couple of days ago, 2 players got fined about a combined $50,000 for being critical of the referees. But whenever, you know, when a player is critical of a referee, the players get penalized. But when a referee messes up, we never hear nothing about it. We never hear any of the punishment or anything that happened to them. So it feels like it's weighted in how they look at the referees and they protect them. And it's seemingly like what they're doing in the EPL too. So it's listening to that. You guys have VAR, which referees refer to often. We have the challenges and have the monitors too, but they don't. Sometimes they just make the call and don't check it, and it's tough to see. But it's also refreshing to see that it's not just the NBA that struggle with the referees like this too.
Yeah, because it's refreshing to hear from us.
Yeah, in NFL they're mic'd up, aren't they? So why don't
they're mic'd up.
Yeah.
Well, they only mic up because everybody has. When they make the call, they go to the middle and then they turn their mic on. They're not mic'd up constantly. They turn their mic on and off.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Even that would be good, though. At least for like when you're making a big decision, we can hear what they're saying. They can explain why they're making that decision. Like, you know, we don't need to hear them throughout the game. Like, let's just hear them when they're making these big decisions, and then they explain it. Because sometimes you're like, what are they even thinking? Like, where are they getting this from?
That's too much accountability. That's too much accountability.
I'm not so sure I'll be big on like us hearing what they're saying. Like, I don't know. I think that's too much pressure on the refs. But I think certainly like in Stockley Park, I think there should be a little bit more communication that filters down to not just the refs, maybe the fans, to get a better understanding as to maybe how they came about or what's
even
happening.
Explain it, explain the decision after the game, like do an interview and say why did you not give that as a penalty, and they'll go, I didn't give it as a penalty because, and then everyone can go, oh okay, at least we can see why, or you know, like something. And I think even like I don't know if you guys saw like with Neil Warnock,
he was absolutely livid. I think it was a Middlesbrough against I
But
can't
yesterday,
remember. Yeah, like, and
I
I
think they
think
played Swansea.
like, granted, he's angry and he's trying to contain himself, and you know how these interviewers are. They're going to ask questions and they're going to get you fined. It's a heat of the moment, but I do think that there surely should be a slight reprieve if the referee blatantly got it wrong. Why should the managers still be fined for saying their mind that you got it wrong? You had a
Yeah,
mare of a game, you
I
got
agree.
it wrong.
That,
I think that's just
that is a bit,
BS.
that is a bit worrying. It's a bit strange that they can call you out and fine you over that because they want. I mean, it's almost going to get to a point where people are going to stop doing after game or post match interviews because they want that rawness, they want that realness, they want that emotion. But then
They're going to get fined for that too.
Exactly, you get fined for it. So
Mm.
it's a strange one, man. It's a strange one. But I mean, I was shocked. I'm not going to lie. I was shocked Arsenal dropped points. I thought they would beat them quite comfortably. And the game was going on as Burnley are going to get battered. But the more the game went on, the more it suited Burnley. Burnley are going to, like you said, Si, they're going to make it ugly. They're going to camp. They're going to hit you on the counter if they can. They're going to waste time. They did all of that. And Arsenal didn't really do much in the second half to break them down convincingly.
We only started peppering them in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, what was you doing when it kicked off in the second half? Why are you waiting until the 80th minute to start peppering their goal or putting them under pressure? That should have been done from the kickoff in the second half until you got that goal. It really pissed me off yesterday because we're just far too casual sometimes. We think we can just turn up to games and we're just going to win.
Yeah, that's the right word.
I've always got this philosophy. By half time, score at least 2 goals. By half time, get at least 2 goals because the second half will be a lot easier for you.
Yeah, because football doesn't always go like that, Jay. You can't just.
I know.
And Burnley can hit you on the break. Those sort of teams are dangerous.
I know. I understand that. But my point is, if you can get at least 2 goals, if you're going 1-0 up half time, great. But if you can get at least 2 goals, the second half will be a lot easier for you.
Yeah.
In our instance, the second half, we just put ourselves under pressure to get a second goal, which never came. And we mocked around for half an hour.
So surely it should be a little bit pleased with the progress, no? Because Arsenal, you can actually see, you see progression. Granted, it was a frustrating result, but you're actually seeing that you guys are playing better football. Looks like you started to get a bit more rhythm.
We've been there before, though, with Arsenal. It's not like Arsenal have been crap for all of this time, and then now they're playing good football. They had a spell after that bad run. Do you know what I mean? Like where they had that really terrible run where they hadn't won any games, and then they got sort of good again. Then they went through a bad run, and they do it all the time. It's like a stop start thing.
I think that's the difference between championship level teams and just good teams. And it sucks to say, but Tottenham fall in the same category. Like where, just seeing our play from earlier this season and then seeing where we are now, we didn't maintain that. We weren't winning the games we were supposed to win. And Arsenal come in, like you said, thinking they're just going to walk in and beat a team when they should come in and handle them. And so that in the second half, they can start to relax a little bit. But they're showing that they're playing to the level of their competition. And obviously, with the result, it shows that that's what Arsenal were doing. Also,
they got to look at where they are in the table, because you can look at a Burnley and think I should be beating Burnley, but they're not that many points ahead of Burnley. And that's the reason. I think that is the problem. Is that mentality of they got their mindset in the Arsenal that was finishing 4th every season. But really, look, you need to dig yourself out of this situation. You can't just be rolling up and thinking you could just turn over Burnley. You ain't that far behind you. So, yeah, it's a mad mentality. But that's why I just don't think Arteta is the guy, to be honest. I just really don't think he's the guy for Arsenal.
I don't know. I think this season is just crackers. I said, I think, once upon a time you could sort of say, oh, that's a banker. That's definitely 3 points. It probably only City can really you could sort of say, yeah, City's going to get 3 points from that for sure. Every game is like, it could be a banana.
I hate that though. I don't like that idea that it's just a crazy season, because it takes away a lot of accountability, I think, on teams, on managers to say it's just a season, because for whatever reason, okay, so West Ham are doing well because we've recruited well. We've got the system. Arsenal aren't doing so well because of a number of factors. Obviously, Aubameyang hasn't really been doing his thing. He's getting back there now, but he weren't really doing his thing for a lot of the season. Other players have been poor. Manager, question marks. And it's the same across the views, goes every team. But a lot of other teams are stepping up now. Like, and there's no easy games in the league now, and I think it's going to be like this that's football. That's the Premier League now. You're
I
never
think
going
when
to
the
see
fans
this.
come back,
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a difference, though. I think when the fans come back, it might start to
I think
go
so.
back to normality.
You
Because
say
what about
that,
the
but
Liverpool
it's,
thing? What's going on with Liverpool? I'm like lost. Is it that they're crap? I think it's just confidence.
It's a hangover. It's a
just
hangover.
confidence.
It's
They're
championship
burnt
hangover.
out over 2-3 years.
Not even that.
Fried.
You get to a certain level, and then, like we were saying before, you start playing the next season, and all of a sudden you're like, we're just gonna walk in and beat teams, and then all of a sudden you get in draws, you're losing to teams, you're not to Fulham or whoever, and it starts to catch up with you. All of a sudden, where are they now? What are they? They're already eighth
now.
Eighth now.
Eighth.
I think we're
eighth behind us and West Ham. You know, and you wouldn't expect that.
You would never expect that.
Never. But
I don't know if it's the fans though.
Yeah, no, I don't agree it's just the fans thing, because that, again, I think Dan made a good point. That takes away accountability from the players, the manager, the setup, everything that's going on. It's not just fans. Like Liverpool losing 6 in a row at Anfield, the players have got to take responsibility. Even Jurgen Klopp, for me, has got to take responsibility.
As well,
Yeah, he's got to, man. No matter how charismatic he is or how great he's been for the last 2 years, if you're losing 6 games on the spin, sorry, you need to hold some accountability, because any other manager would have been rinsed by now. But the media said nothing about him.
If you need the fans or need one player to beat Burnley at home, to beat flipping Brighton, to beat Fulham, to not lose to those teams, that says a lot about the team, because you should be beating whether there's no fans, whether you've got like Virgil van Dijk out or not. For the team that you were winning the league, winning the Champions League, you should be beating. You should have enough to still beat these teams at home and not lose. Like that's staggering.
It's something wrong. That our system's completely broken, and it's just confidence. Like I think if we got like maybe a game or 2 back to back, we'll slowly start creeping. But the system is broken because personnel. I'm not going to use the excuse granted about the injuries and we've had a bit of bad luck, but the system's just broken. Like our fullbacks are not as effective because they don't have the same confidence with defense. Our midfield, the engine's gone.
What has happened to your fullbacks? Because last year, Robertson and Trent, they were animals. Like it was just wave after wave after wave.
The drop off is staggering.
I think Trent looks like he's slowly coming back, but Robertson, I'm being a bit surprised with. But then I think that there's no rest for those guys. Look at how many games they play. And they literally bomb up and down. You know, the mileage that they do every game, it's gonna be telling on. We just don't have the depth, and I think we got found out this season. The depth and quality is not there. Like defensively, it's been frail. And I don't know if I blame Klopp. I do think maybe we didn't get the support from FSG as he needed. Because we need a right back. We've got left back, but we need a centre half. We didn't get a centre half.
It's still like you still got them like world class attack, and it baffles me that like so like you're obviously missing some defenders and maybe a midfielder, but those players should still be able to go and do it and stick the ball in the back. You had a lot of possession today, and like you just could not break them down, and it was like how is this world class attack not able to do it? And then he brings Mane on, and it's mad.
Oh, but what I saw, we lost. The only positive I actually saw at that game is when Fabinho came on and he went into the midfield. Immediately, we started to look threatening. And he's not even that sort of creative player. He just gives you that solidity that you can afford to have average defenders, and knowing that he will probably clean up, he will mop up. Kane started to do a few balls here and there. And Mane was a bit on. We just need a bit of luck. And we just lack that creativity. We just haven't got that midfielder that could sort of see a pass. Maybe Thiago still is that guy, but I think Thiago's only going to be effective if we got Hendo and, say, Fabinho in that middle of the park where he doesn't have to do run backs. He's just going to stay in almost like a 10 role.
We're getting comments saying burnout. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's...
Yeah, I think mental fatigue, For 2-3 years, for what we've done, when I think about the Champions League that we lost to Real Madrid and Bell beat us, to where we got. I think it was just so much demands to knock City off their perch like that. Yeah, I think there's just flat. We're just mentally drained, and we need new blood. Jota helped us for a bit, and then he got injured. It's just, you couldn't make it up. That we've had every game.
Before we move on, I ask: are you genuinely worried now? Are you, as a Liverpool fan, do you think this is a blip, or are you worried that this might be?
I think it's a write-off season for us. It's a write-off season. I do think next year, a bit like how City sort of come back strong. I knew City would. I'm not saying we would necessarily win the league, but I do think we'll come back stronger. We need some couple additions. But no, I'm not frightened. I think once we get our back line in and our midfield, and we could do with a proper number 9, I think we'll be fine.
Because I'm not even trying to be cheeky, but how much money do you guys want to spend? Because it's not like you guys aren't spending money. You are. Do you get what I mean? Like you are.
No, but we spend in accordance to what we sell, isn't it? I think we need to, because I know that the only way we're going to be able to spend, we're going to have to almost sacrifice one of the superstars and then maybe bring in 2 players. But I think we need to sort of add to what's already there. But unfortunately, we're just not that club. We just don't have that Chelsea funds to do that.
How you gonna you're gonna win the Champions League, then the flipping Premier League back to back, and then not be able to have the funds to go out and slap down?
Corona's a game changer.
I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination, Pat. Like I liken it to what happened to the Golden State Warriors. For 4 or 5 seasons, they were by far the best team in the NBA. They was beating everybody easily by 30, 40 points, and then they had a couple injuries. Not only did they have a couple injuries, they were also burnt out. And then everybody else kind of raised their level of play when they come to play the Warriors. So it's the same when you play Liverpool. When another team,
we lost our fear factor as well. Psychologically, we lost that edge.
It's a challenge.
The fans not being there, we lost that edge at Enfield. Exactly. I mean, having that for 3.5 years. Yeah, No, you don't fear Liverpool. No one fears Liverpool right now.
Exactly, but championship teams find a way to finish, to seal the deal every time. They were doing it for 3 years, and yes, they burnt out, but you also have to improve continually on top of that, and they wasn't doing that. Now everybody else has kind of figured them out, and they've had some injuries. Now we're starting to see the result of that. And
this is a good point, because I've seen a few fans as well. Shout out to my boy Torch on what happened football.
No, I don't agree.
Massively, he's Klopp out right now. He's going nuts.
Yeah, no way. Look, there's a lot of things that's happened behind the scenes as well, and I don't certainly. I'm trying not to make excuses. It's a real humble pie. It is a humbling moment for Liverpool fans, but no, it's a year that I just want it to just be ruled and just tear it up and start again. But I think once we get our full squad back, if this continues, then yeah, you can sort of point the fingers and say maybe is it time for Klopp? But I don't think that. I think it's just been bad luck on top of bad luck, and yeah, we've had no momentum this season. Not whatsoever.
He's earned a pass, isn't it? Like for a bad season. Let's be real. Like to win the Champions League in the Premier League, 100%. First time in 30 years, he's earned a pass.
Yeah, of course.
He's got credit in the bank for me. So
this is the world we live in now, where a couple bad results and everyone wants your head. And I know sometimes I might sound like a bit of a hypocrite because I've been Jose out as well. Which on the back of
a couple weeks ago, you were talking crazy, fam. I was talking crazy a couple weeks ago.
You still Jose out?
I still think Jose out though. I think with that Tottenham squad, I still think someone could do better.
I know I sound like a bit of a dickhead really for saying it, but I just think that Jose's not the kind of guy that you can build off of. He's not sustainable. So if we win a trophy or 2 this season, I would still want a manager that we know will be around for a couple of years. And will actually
and he's not that guy.
Yeah, Jose's not that guy, and
you can't sack Jose. I'm telling you, it's not
too expensive. Like, they can't sack him anyway. It's too expensive. That's your transfer kit gone.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, we're still in the mix. We're still in the League Cup final.
You win the League Cup though. You probably win it.
So, I hope but that one's a mad one because Man City being Man City is a tough game.
That's their trophy.
Jose knows how to beat him.
Yeah. But
Jose knows how to win it.
it's Jose Mourinho in the final. He's that guy, isn't it? So
yeah, he's that guy, man.
I'm not confident, but I'm hopeful. And in
it's
regards
recency
to us
bias,
being in
Pat.
the Euro,
It's just recency. It's recency bias. Like when we was first in the league early on in the season, everybody was praising Mourinho. Everybody was loving the way he was playing football.
I know.
And then all of a sudden, it starts to turn around. And he was like, "This is shit football. This is this. Mourinho's got to be out." But we're playing similar to how we were earlier. We're just not, executing the same way. So
that's the Mourinho thing, isn't it? When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's like it's bad. Like
there's no middle ground, isn't it? There's no
you just have to win. When you're winning, it's okay. When you lose, it's like,
But saying that, the last couple of games we've been playing expansive football. We've been scoring goals. We've been, it's not been like park the bus, sit behind the ball type of football. And Jose does have that. I don't know if it's Jose or if the players are just going out and doing it. I don't know, but isn't.
Look at Bale.
Bale's. Yeah. So going into that, we're segueing into tonight's game. Tottenham 4, Crystal Palace 0. Let's ask let's Jason. What was your? Did you watch the game? Did you manage to catch it?
I saw the first half. I didn't see the second half, but I'm not. I knew you guys were going to win. I was surprised that they equalised. To be fair, because I thought when Bell scored his goal, I thought they're going to go on and score 2 or 3, maybe 3-0 by half time. But then Benteke popped up with that header, and then I was like, "Raw, that's a good header still." But then second half, he just blew them away. And this is what I mean. Obviously, like Crystal Palace are not a crap team. They're not a crap team, but seeing your situation where it was 1-1, you came out and you got the job done early.
Yeah.
Early. This is what I mean. Just get the job done early. You know what I'm saying? What you beat,
the difference was they had the world class players. That's the difference. Spurs, the world class players, just did what they do, the elite stuff. Because Crystal Palace looked like they could have upset Spurs, but it's just a difference when you have elite players. They can do that. Like Kane's, was it the first goal when he just hit it first time? Take a bow. I was
madness.
Like, just take a bow. Yeah, that was absolute levels. That's tough, boy.
Yeah, it was a decent result for you guys, man.
It was a good result, to be fair, because in previous games, those are the kind of games where we've dropped points or gone on to crumble and actually lose the game. Crystal Palace, after they scored that goal and Wilf Zaha came on at half time, they had a bit of a pep in their step. And I was like, oh man, this could turn ugly. But yeah, we got the job done, a couple of goals, and they pretty much didn't really trouble us. So for me, it was a really good result. And that's 3 wins on the bounce now. We're going in to the North London derby with a bit of momentum, and we're actually looking good again. So for me, I don't think top 4 is achievable, if I'm being honest. Of course, I'm hopeful, but I think we can finish in the top 6. Hopefully win a cup, and then we try and push on again next season.
I think you win Europa as well,
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. It's easy to say that, but you still got good teams in there, and we can't be, as English guys, we're always like, yeah, we're the best teams in there. There's still other teams in there that on their day, not even on their day, they're good teams anyway. So, I've got to be a bit mindful of that. Man United,
if you can get to the final, I fancy you because you've got winners in Bale and Mourinho. Like these, before your team was full of players that just weren't winners. These players are winners, and Bale had done it time and time again for Real Madrid.
In the big game,
and if Mourinho does that, you all need to bow down and praise Mourinho because 100%. Boy, he is.
Even if he wins us the League Cup, I've got to praise him because we have.
Because he did what he had to do, isn't it? That's what you brought him in for to get you over the line.
And I see the comment from Dash, and to be fair, I can kind of understand what you're saying. For me, I still am Jose out, so I've not flip-flopped. But I understand that it may look a bit crazy.
I called you a Havana,
I know, it's a funny comment. I almost didn't click it. But you know what? I was like, no, I've got to ride it. I don't want to sound ungrateful as well because, with Jose is a proven winner, but sometimes the football has driven me to the end of my wits. So I can't lie. And, but it's a roller coaster season. I guess we have to go through all these emotions to really understand how it may feel when we win the trophy at the end. So yeah, it's
Did you say when? Did you say when we win the trophy at the end?
Exactly.
Did you say when? I like that confidence. I weren't gonna let that slide.
So Pat, you
no,
know what I noticed? I've noticed, like, listening to you talk about, Jose out and whatnot. It's similar to what you were saying about the managers after the game. Like, putting a microphone right in front of them after the game, you're gonna get an emotional response. You're gonna get a response saying the referees are shit, this, that, and the third, and then they're gonna get in trouble. So with you, it's Twitter. As soon as you see some bad football or see something, you're going right to it and say Jose
the
out.
Brighton game, I was a mess after the Brighton game. I was a mess. So that was just shook me to my core. And it was just one. I think we lost 4 or 5 in a row. Oh, it's crazy. So I feel a bit better now. That's what.
Mate, this is how I feel, Pat. This is how I feel. I'm depressed, bro. I'm losing on Football Manager as well. I'm just like, what the hell's going on?
It's actually getting
what the hell? I'm like tempted to like press quit and start again. Like no.
Who have you guys got?
Yes,
I was about to ask the same question.
What's that?
In my mind. Who have you got next in the league?
We got. Jeez, I've actually forgot.
You know what? I'm gonna
I know we've got Red Bull Leipzig on Wednesday, and then Monday we've got Wolves.
That'd be a difficult one, man.
Yeah, Wolves on Monday.
Wolves haven't been the same Wolves that we're used to. Do you know what I mean? They're quite lackluster.
No.
They haven't
that miss, I can't know what player that was, but
miss of the season.
What? That's the miss of the season.
That was the worst. It's an open goal right there
of all time, man. That was terrible.
It's harder it was harder to miss than to score. Yeah. And for those who didn't see it, it was basically there was a scramble in the box, and then the keeper's like completely away from the goal, and all he has to do is just tap it, right? He has to just tap it. What he does, he leans his body right back, and then gets his foot under it and skies it over the bar. And you're just like, he could have just thrown his body at it and just rolled in with it, but that is just. You can't be doing that.
When it's not your day, it's not your day, man. And Wolves this year, they're in no danger of going down. It's
Jimenez, isn't it?
For nothing. They're just literally in that roller coaster middle of the
table. They miss Jimenez, man. That injury was
a can't just one thing though. It's not just Jimenez. It can't be. I mean,
Jota was obviously a loss as well, wasn't it? Jota was
major loss.
Yeah, a big loss. They need to try and regroup and that. But one thing I just want to say is on Palace. I do think Palace, I would say Palace are a poor side, especially watching today. But they usually start the season well and then they fade out. But today, like that first goal, Milivojevic, what he was doing on that ball, honestly, where you've got all of these killers around you, and you're just dawdling on the ball.
Get rid of it.
Exactly. Get rid of it. You just got to move the ball at that point. And then you're seeing them in the second half, and like every time they're on a promising attack, it's just a poor final ball or something like that. Even Zaha didn't look at the races, and like Roy needs to go.
Yeah, I think.
Zaha just come up from a hamstring. To be fair.
Yeah, and they threw him in the mix, thinking at 1-1 maybe the game was there, and it wasn't. I mean, obviously, hindsight's a beautiful thing, but they kind of threw him in there thinking that they could get something out of it, and it didn't really go.
They played better without him.
He had that one shot though that hit the post. The bar though. That's the post,
yeah. Oh yeah, that post. Yeah, that literally trickled past.
Yeah, and it hit Hugo Lloris, isn't it?
Yeah, and it hit him again. It could have went in off him. I was actually shocked.
Could have gone up. Yeah.
It's just. Do you think Harry Kane will still be here next season? By the way, just a quick question.
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't think he's going. He would have been snatched up already.
It's just because of Corona.
Yeah,
maybe.
Corona. I think that's a lazy statement. I don't think. I mean, he's got a couple of years on his contract.
He's a Tottenham lad,
I think City, United, or Real Madrid will come calling, but I just think the financial problems in the world. Kane's gonna go, man. He's got to go.
He needs to be winning trophies.
Exactly. He needs to be winning big for like for league title.
He should be spoken in the same breath of Robert Lewandowski, and I think with him being that Spurs, and there's no disrespect, but I'm sorry, he's just not going to ever get that kind of accolade that I think he deserves now. You've seen it today. He's just like levels ahead. He's out. He's just out on his own.
He's the best player in the Premier League for me. I've been saying it all season, and people have been looking at me side eye.
Steady. Like KDB, man. Kevin De Bruyne.
For me, he's the best player in the Premier League right
I
now.
thought you said Pepe for a second, and he fell over.
Kevin De Bruyne, man. Still Kevin De Bruyne.
I don't know, man.
I still think he's still levels.
I would take Kane.
If Kane ends his career without like a Premier League or something like that, that's criminal. Like he's got to kick himself if he doesn't do that. And I just think he have to move on from Spurs. It's obviously sad for you guys. It's tough, but I don't know. Like I don't know how else you guys can win it.
Is it another situation like when Bell left? Like, because even when Bell left, like I understood it. I got it. I was like, we can't keep that type of talent here when there's nothing else
Modric
around
as
it.
well.
And Modric, yeah, then both of them when they went to Real Madrid, they blossomed. I'm not saying that
Robbie Keane went to a bigger club as well.
So I just hope it's
Is that
not
when he went to West Ham? Was that when he came to West Ham?
Robbie Keane went to a bigger club. He went to Liverpool. Didn't he?
Did he go Liverpool then?
Yeah, he did.
Berbatov.
When did we get him then?
We got bumped though. We've got it for 20 million. I think we sold him back to Spurs for the same money.
Yeah,
He
I
was...
don't know. It's too late for Kane for the big move. That's what the cheeky dash is saying.
He's in his
What
prime.
What do you mean too late?
He's 28, isn't he? He's 28.
It's not too late. He's definitely got one good solid contract in him where he can still be one of the best in the world for sure, I feel. But here's me advocating for the move. As long as he stays here, I'm happy, you know.
Did you say he's got 2 years left on his contract, by the way? Did you say he's got 2 years?
He's got 3 years on the contract.
Yeah.
So there's no rush in that regard. I do think COVID has definitely helped us because obviously teams haven't got that clout that they used to have. So, you know, I don't see him going this summer. Maybe next year when things get better and if Tottenham are still doing what we're doing now, then
because only 3 teams can get him. What, 3-4 teams maybe can buy him? Paris Saint-Germain, you can't see him going there. Real Madrid, City, United. They're the only teams that can really afford him.
Chelsea can afford
but he's
him.
never going to go Chelsea from Spurs.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No one would have thought that Sol Campbell would have went to Arsenal from Spurs.
Of course. I've hated Sol Campbell since that day.
Sorry for bringing that name up, but not most Spurs guys.
Football's football.
No, but the thing is, at the time when that happened, it's a bit like, I guess, how West Ham is to Spurs now, isn't it? It's like Arsenal so far ahead from Spurs back then, so it was a big leap. No, so it's like West Ham.
Look,
made the right move. They made the right move.
Can I tell you a quick story about how I...
And he won everything,
Let's segue
what was
into
that?
West Ham because to be fair, I think... Sorry, someone said
something. Papa was going to tell a story.
I said a quick story about how I've forgiven Sol Campbell for leaving us to go to Arsenal. So when I've forgiven him, you know why? Because I saw it firsthand and I understood what happened. So, you know, what year was that? Bloody hell. That was
2001.
20 years ago. Yes, I remember that. He was one of the best defenders in the world. Next thing you know, he's walking out doing a Arsenal press conference. There wasn't anybody on this planet that I hated more than Sol Campbell at the time, just because I was a fan. So I end up playing in Turkey for Besiktas. We win the treble there, and Galatasaray come and they buy our whole starting unit. They buy everybody. Wow. Everybody goes over, and we didn't want to leave. We wanted to come back, but then Besiktas don't pay us our bonus. Don't pay us our last salary. So we all end up leaving. But to the masses and to the fans, we just saw us getting up and leave. So everybody hated us, but they didn't know what happened. And until I was riddled with a similar situation, like Sol Campbell as a professional athlete, I was like, wow. I was 30 years old when I realized, you know what? I get it. I'm not saying that was the same situation he had in Tottenham and going to Arsenal, but I kind of understand it now as an athlete that he did what he had to do for the betterment of him and his family. And
you know what?
I know you're not going to accept it. But when I was,
I don't know. That's a great story, but I don't accept that. I don't know.
Story, Pops,
I mean, I don't like it as a fan. I hate it as a fan. I hate it as a fan, but as
you can understand it a little bit from an
understand it a little bit more. Yeah,
he could have gone. Surely there's other
anywhere else. He could have gone anywhere else.
Anywhere else. He didn't want to leave London.
For me, it burns because he wound down his contract. If he knew he wasn't gonna, he wound down his contract
for free.
and that's what killed it.
Yeah, but a lot of players are doing that now anyway.
Yeah, but it was different back then, Jay, as well.
He was one of the best,
but
though.
He had told
He
us
was one
he
of
was
the
going to
best.
resign. He had told us he was going to sign a new deal. Obviously, wound his contract down and then walked out. So that's where, and obviously to go to our arch enemies, and then Arsenal being Arsenal, us being Tottenham, the levels were so it was bad. It was bad. So
and then now forever,
Ashley Cole did it to Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah, he went Chelsea.
That was tough.
Van
And
Persie
he
went
was
Man
through the
United.
academy.
It happens, man. It happens.
I did by you.
Yeah,
He was never like he jumped ship everywhere. He's just so biased. That guy.
He goes wherever the money is there. He's there.
When his contract's running out, he has a barnstorming season.
That iconic celebration against Arsenal, though.
But he ran to the other end of the field.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's doing it.
Yeah, they were throwing everything at him.
The Arsenal fans are like fuming. They're like,
no, that was legit. When it happened, that was crazy.
He thought he should have got the same money as Henry. Do you remember hearing those rumors?
Is that what you were saying?
There's rumors that he expected to. That's why he left. He left to go City for a bit more money. He thought that he should be earning a similar amount of money as I think Henry at the time. I thought the nerve. Man had one good season.
Yeah,
it's mental. But let's move on, because I want to ask Dan. Like, for me, West Ham have been a surprise package of the season. Like, it's actually been refreshing to. This season has been crazy because, I mean, we've got Everton on one hand, who always spend money. They kind of go big. They've got Ancelotti. So even though I didn't expect Everton to be doing what they're doing, you kind of can understand it. But with West Ham, I didn't see it. I can't lie to you. I didn't really take any note of who they were signing in the summer. I didn't really think they would be a threat. But where they're sitting now, I have to say they are a threat. And it's actually been refreshing to see a mix of not just your usual suspects. So I want to get like Dan's perspective as a West Ham fan. How do you feel about the season so far?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm as surprised as everyone else. There's a video on our channel, season predictions, where I predicted us to finish 18th, and go down. That was after we just sold Dean Garner. Wow. Mark Noble done the whole tweet how he was fuming about it. Everything just looked so negative in the club. Like, it was such a bad period just before that first game, and then we lost to Newcastle, and then we were so poor. I was just like, geez, this is going to be the season. But when you look at it, our recruitment since Moyes came in has just been spot on. Like Souček, Owen in January, then we bring in Sofal, Craig Dawson. Craig Dawson is another one we was all wrong about. We was all like, wait a minute, this guy is supposed to be like Watford's worst player we're hearing. And why are we signing this guy? It was an outrage, and no one rated this guy. And he comes in, and he hasn't had a single bad game at all. Obviously, we brought in Ben Rama, who I've loved, who I'd like to see get more minutes, but he's a baller. And then Lingard in January,
what a signing!
Wow. It's given us like a second wind almost in the season, because we was doing well and we was like consistent, was picking up points, was climbing the table slowly but surely, and then Lingard just took us to that next level, and we've just been in the mix for that top 4 race. And I have to give credit to David Moyes. He's another one. I have to say so many things I was wrong about. I was wrong about Moyes when he came back. I was fuming. I was like, why are we getting Moyes back? I thought we was going to get relegated, and I thought Dawson was a poor signing, and I'm happy to be wrong on all points because
Moyes is quality.
Sorry, the Lingard one for me is I was going to say the Lingard one. I have to admit that we were linked to Lingard, weren't we? Especially with Jose Mourinho, and I was going nuts. We don't want Lingard. He's a scrub. He's this. He's that. If we sign him, which shows that we've got no ambition, blah blah blah, and then he goes to West Ham and he literally balls out. And I'm looking like, wow, this guy's actually a baller. Like, he would definitely get in our team.
His stats is the best in 5 years, isn't it?
Yeah, he's so it just goes to show sometimes all a player needs is a reset. And I have to say, I was wrong about Lingard. We all knew he had talent at one point, but I didn't expect to see what I'm seeing now. So yeah,
he's just played a couple of FA Cup games all season. He's barely played all season. So I'm like, even if we sign him, it's going to take a while to get his match fitness and all of that. And all of a sudden, he just comes in and he's just like fully fit, like he's been playing all season. He's running everywhere, just full of energy, pace. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like, how can you not play like that? Just shows you how the work that he has been putting in all the time behind the scenes to come and be that levels. And he has really given us an energy now in our midfield and in our attack. Like, I can't believe it now. We really need to just sign him at the end of the season.
Antonio as well. Antonio looks such a player. He's like a constant threat.
He's so underrated. For me, he's probably the most underrated player.
He's underrated
because everyone that knows ball knows he's a baller, but he gets so disrespected. When I see tweets I'm like, right, like you lot don't watch the same game then, because he's a baller. He can ball. And he's so, like, I think they showed a clip of all his goals, and they've all been in the 6-yard box or just literally in that area. But that shows that he reads the game so well. To always be in that right place at the right time, it's not luck, is it? Because otherwise everyone would be doing it. So that shows that he reads the game. He's quality, man. He's a good player.
Yeah, it's just his fitness is down. Yeah, Souček as well. And that's the thing. But a big thing as well I'd say about Moyes is Souček has been huge, and Sofao as well from the same club. Souček scouted Sofao from the club. He was like, yeah, you need to buy this guy. And they was like, all right. And we signed him for like 5 million. And they've been brilliant. But Antonio's like, the thing is with him, obviously his injuries have held him back big time. But yeah, he's been brilliant for us. But the big thing about Moyes is the fact that he's been able to adapt. Like, we lost Masuaku, who, when we was playing that 5 at the back system, he was unreal. Like, Masuaku, just a baller. And he got injured, and and we was like thinking, no, like we're gonna have to play the 5 at the back. We have to go back to the back 4. It's all over. And then we went to the back 4, and like we were still picking up points. Then we lost Antonio. We had obviously Alea up, who didn't quite fit the system, but we're still chugging away, picking up points. And now we've lost Ogbonna, who is like one of our best players, great centre back. And then we've brought in Diop now. So every little speed bump that comes our way or hurdle, we find a way to get over it and adapt and keep moving forward. And I think that's the biggest compliment I think you can pay Moyes.
And Dan, what would you say now that you've tasted that? You've been in the top 4. You're really playing well against the big teams. What would you say for you? What would be a good season now?
I think if we didn't get Europa League, I'd be disappointed. If we didn't finish in those spots somewhere, I'd feel disappointed. I would love us to try and get that top 4 spot, and it's in our hands. Like, it's in our hands. The form is on our side. We just need to maintain that form. I think we're the most informed team bar Man City this year in 2021, right? Wow. So that's going for us. So we need to keep up. And Leeds is a huge game. Like, everyone's played their games. I think if we win that, I think we do go 4th again. So that's dependent on the Chelsea game though.
What's your honest predictions for tomorrow's game?
I've said 3-1. I feel like we're built to play a Bielsa side, like to play Leeds side, because they're just so attacking to the point they're reckless at the back, and we showed against Man City that we can deal with that pressure. Like, if you want to keep throwing at us, cool, we can deal with that. We can hold our shape. We can keep switched on. And we will hurt you, when we come back at you. And they're just a bit of a mess at the back. So it could come back to bite me. But yeah, I've said 3-1, being modest. And like, we didn't have Antonio last time we played them, and we didn't have Lingard. And so now I'm confident.
I think you'll get a result. I think you'll beat them tomorrow as well. I really do. I think, like you said, Leeds are very reckless. They leave themselves open. Yes, they play exciting football, but that isn't what football's about. You still need to try and win the game and also do it in a smart manner. So I think you're good for that. But Jay, when you look at a West Ham team and you see how they've been playing and what they've done, and you compare it to someone like Arsenal, who are obviously the bigger name brand, do you feel like they're going in the direction that you guys should be going
in? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, West Ham, they've always been known as that team that's always been fighting relegation and whatnot, and they've made a few signings where you can see it's made a massive difference. If once you get the recruitment right, because with Arsenal, a lot of our recruitment have been poor. So well, West Ham, they've got their recruitment right this time, and you can see it's paying dividends. But where are you in your league now? What are you, fifth, sixth?
Yeah, we're around there. I think we're about fifth or sixth.
When you got the right manager. Not that I'm saying we haven't, but obviously West Ham have found their manager. You had your Allardyces and whatnot over the years, but you had Moyes before, but you let him go, which I thought was a bit weird because he dropped that time.
That was weird. He done well.
He dropped that time, but you brought him back in. I think your owners realised that he is a good manager, and he's shown it now. And I feel like Arsenal, with Arsenal, West Ham. Don't get me wrong. You guys, like I said, you guys have been through a lot, man, over the years. I don't know what it's like to be relegated, and I don't want to know what it's like. You get what I'm saying? So
I was hoping you might got relegated this season with how you were playing.
That was never going to happen.
Obviously.
That was never going to happen. Nobody believed that.
Praying.
Nobody believed.
Nothing.
But that reminds me when Tottenham nearly got relegated. Yeah, when Tottenham nearly went down, and then a West Ham man, Harry Redknapp,
Martin Yo.
He saved us.
That
man.
was
I love Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp. You guys owe your Premier League status to West Ham. Let's just say that.
Stop it!
West Ham Academy boy.
I hate hearing that, man. But no, I respect Harry Redknapp so much, man. He's one of my favorite ever managers, to be fair.
For sure.
But no,
For sure.
I hate that. Said that. But yeah, no. Looking at the table, to be fair, West Ham are 7th at the moment, but they're tied on points with Spurs. Our goal difference is a lot better, but you guys have got a game in hand, which is tomorrow. So if you win your game or get a draw tomorrow, then you go above Spurs back into 6th. But it's so tight. But
we go 6th. Don't we go above? I thought we went higher.
4th. I thought they'd go 4th.
No. If they win their game, they go 4th. But it depends on what happens with Chelsea, Everton as well. But if they draw their game, they at least go 6 because they have a point more than Spurs, and obviously they play the same amount of games. So they're 7th at the moment, but obviously they got games in hand on a few of the teams above. Chelsea, Everton tomorrow is a massive one because they're 4th and 5th. So someone's dropping points.
We're gonna take them.
Hopefully, both of them drop points.
See, then we got Man United next. Man United is a huge game. That is huge. If we win that game, I'm gonna believe. If we win Leeds, if we beat Leeds and then Man United, I believe we're getting top 4. But
you know what? I think you guys could, because last time the West Ham game, when Paul Pogba scored and the ball went out, when it curved out and everyone could see it went out. I don't know if you remember. I do. That's when the game changed. So
he was battering them. He was absolutely battering them, and then that happened. I'm still annoyed about that, but I'm hopeful because they've had their big win and they're all related. Like they're due their meltdown loss. Like they've been like that all season, man. They're due that. But yeah, do you know what? I think the thing is with our recruitment as well, and I think this probably goes the same with all teams looking at it now. All teams should learn from it. Is not always just looking at that big name player, that big which was our problem so many times. Like we just kept doing it. We moved to the same, trying to get that big 35, 40 million, 50 million pound player, and actually putting some effort into your scouting and not trying to buy the ready-made deal. Like, obviously you look at like Pepe at Arsenal, players like that, obviously Spurs have been there, we've all been there, and then you try and buy this big name and it don't work. Whereas if you spend less and you try and actually do your recruitment properly, you can find some real gems that can push your team.
Souček and Soufal, hidden gems. Like I never heard of these guys. I think you said you paid 5 million for them or whatever you paid, and those guys are great players. So it just goes to show if your recruitment is on point, you don't have to spend X amount, untold amount of money because you guys will, you'll do it the other way around. So
that's key for Tottenham as well. Obviously, if you guys are struggling financially with the stadium and that, you guys should be looking at that model really.
Trying to be smart in the market. So that's the way forward. But Sai, looking at what's going on now, where do you guys go from here? Like in terms of your season, what's the aims or what's the objectives for Liverpool?
Europa League. If there's something I get into Europa League, I think top 4 is not going to happen. If they get top 6, I think wow.
You're still in the Champions League, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we're still in the Champions League. I think we can probably go. it just depends. I want to see the sort of performance that we put in against Leipzig on Wednesday. Because, like I said, there's something about the Champions League that we somehow still do okay, or we beat teams that are better than us. But yeah, I've lost confidence this season. I just want the season to be over, if I'll be honest.
Are you 3-0 up or 2-0 up, Leipzig?
2-0, 2-0.
Yeah.
2 away goals as well.
You should be good. You should. Oh wow, 7% Europa League, Liverpool, and about 100 laughing emojis.
Jeez.
You know what? You know what's crazy, Si? It's like the mighty are falling. You used to talk so much in the group chats, Liverpool this, Liverpool, and now you're just a humble.
And rightfully so. Rightfully so. We won everything, literally. We won everything. So, you know, it's just our turn, isn't it? It's just our turn.
Yeah, it's crazy what football can do to you. But to say that you're looking at Europa League and I don't know, it's still in your hands. Like, you just got to go on. You got to win some games.
We need to go on a run. We need 2 or 3 back-to-back winning games. But I just think we just got to bring down expectation now. This season's a write-off for us. It's about starting again next season, really.
And have you seen that comment? Would you like to finish out of Europe for a season? So that means you can make CL next year. So year after next.
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't even mind if we didn't get into Europa and we just have like less games. I wouldn't even mind. But I just feel like a team like Liverpool should be playing European football.
You know what? I
should be playing it.
That when last year, the year that Pochettino got sacked and we brought in Jose, I was saying the same thing. I want us to finish outside Europe for a year, so then we can focus on the league, but a team or a squad like Liverpool, you need 2 competitions like Europe and the league, so you can obviously play the squad, you can find the youngsters, bed them in. If you're just playing Premier League football, it's not going to work. So I don't know, that model, it sounds good on paper, but it's not really going to work for a team as big as Liverpool, your Arsenals, your Tottenhams, your Chelseas. The squads are too big to just play once a week, so I don't think it's sustainable, to be fair. So and we've got people saying humble FC. Liverpool can focus on the Champions League, which makes them dangerous. That's a good point.
Maybe it should get to the point of where you just go and say, do you know what? Let's just put all our eggs in this basket and try and. I mean, imagine if they just come out of nowhere and win a Champions League again. There will be unbearable.
The thing is, it's not even unthinkable. The thing is, I've got like low confidence, but again, it wouldn't even surprise me. This season is just so weird.
Yeah,
and I just feel like we're sleeping right now, but it's only a matter of time for Liverpool to wake up and the front 3 to start kicking it in, and we start getting our rhythm back. Players start coming back. It's not like Liverpool, we're just in a bad moment, and I just think once things start turning around, momentum start picking up, we'll see.
All right. So Pops has got to leave in 15 minutes. So before you go, Pops.
No, I said that 20 minutes ago, fam.
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry, I'm so engrossed in the.
Oh, Semper just put a question there. About building next year. I do think we do need to do elements of rebuild. Not major. I think we just need to add 2 or 3 players to that team and hold on as well. Hold on to players.
And before Pops goes, I want to ask Pops, what's obviously being in the States and soccer or football as we call it is on the rise. What's the feeling of the Premier League, the EPL over there? Do you guys do Americans watch English football?
Yeah, but it's more of an acquired taste. If they watched it before, they're obviously going to watch it now that they televise it on some of the major channels here. But it's obviously not as popular, and they don't. It's not an American pastime like it is in the UK. So,
do you go to the meetups? Pops? Do you go? Because I know our fan group. We have fan groups that they meet up and go to a pub and they'll watch it at a bar. I don't know if you've ever if there's any Tottenham ones that you ever been to. Right?
Yeah, there's a couple. Whenever I get word of it, or especially when Tottenham come to do those a little American tours, I make sure to catch those games. And if I'm in New York or there's a meetup when I'm in town, I definitely try to catch it when I can. But it's not too often. They try to show the games, like I said here, on our version of Sky Sports, which is a big deal because they never did it until a couple years ago. So, they show it now weekly, so I can catch the games live. Whereas before I'd have to find some intricate way to watch the game. So that's definitely a breath of fresh air. But yeah, definitely not as popular as the American football, the basketball, the baseball of the world too. So it's growing, but it's not where it is. In the
Them
UK.
lunchtime kickoffs must be brutal, though, isn't it? Like when it's lunchtime over here and you got to get up super early.
Yeah. I just look at my phone and look at the score, then go back to bed because sometimes it is kind of brutal. But again, I'm like I said, I'm Tottenham through and through. Tottenham through and through. So I'm always going to support from afar.
Before you go, Pops, are you Americans familiar with your, like, you know, for example, over here, household names like Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you guys know of those guys over there? Or?
I mean, I do because I follow them, and obviously a lot of them are England players. But yeah, no, like I said, just like the sport itself is not as popular as it is in the rest of the world. It's growing and it's big, but it's not as popular.
They could walk down the street and not get troubled, basically.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna give you another quick story. So you know it's similar to I'm from Tottenham, fam. He said I'm American. I'm from Tottenham High Road. So when I was playing the NBA, my homeboy from South London, Wadeng, was the highest paid British athlete. Period. The highest paid British. I'm talking Beckham. Everybody you can think of. He was the highest paid British athlete, and he played in the NBA. We could walk down the street in central London, and not one person would recognize him. And I was in the NBA too, but he was an NBA All-Star and the highest paid athlete on UK soil, and so that's how it is for football players here. And you know, football players are not 6'9", 250 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So they're less noticeable than we are. So we're walking down the street, and we couldn't even get into clubs sometimes. We went to a club during the Olympics, right? And we're walking up, and we're like, "Yo, what are we gonna say?" And as we walk up, the bouncer just lifts up the rope. He lifts up the rope, and he's like, "Welcome back, fellas." I'm like, so I tell Lou, let's just keep walking. As we walk by, he points at me and says, "That's Yaya Toure." I swear to God, he thought I was Yaya Toure, and that's why we
just
got to the club.
Did you go? Yeah, I was gonna say, did you go with it?
I kept walking. I didn't say nothing. What was I gonna say?
You didn't try and go. Yeah.
But again, obviously,
he's got 6'9". That is
exactly. So I meet his manager.
Or like a Lillian Thuram minute.
Right. So I meet his manager he was like, "You want to come to the game?" So I go to Manchester. They're playing Crystal Palace. Manchester City playing Crystal Palace, and I'm sitting in like the players' suite, and they introduce his name, and he looks up, and I'm like, bloody hell. I don't think we look alike, but I saw the resemblance. Then all of a sudden, his wife is sitting like 5 seats down. She looks and then does a double take. And I'm like, I really can't look like this guy that much. So we took pictures after, and we look nothing alike. But when you see him on the field, he looks like he's 7 feet tall, and it's just a monster over everybody. But he's dark and he's got the bald head. So I saw it. But that's what it's like for men like us over back in the UK when we come.
Jeez, that's a good story.
A brilliant story.
Yeah, sure. So if you ever see me in the club in London, you know how I got in.
Yeah.
I'm right. I'm running with that one for sure. But no, I appreciate you fellas, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Pops, thank you for jumping
on.
I know the time difference is crazy, so I know you need to kick out. But yeah, anytime you want to jump back on, Pops.
Yeah, let me know, man, for sure.
And Pops, where can they find you? Shout your socials out before you leave.
My Twitter is at Pops, P-O-P, just at P-O-P-S. My Instagram is at Pops M Bonsu. And my Facebook is just my name, Pops Mensah Bonsu. So I'm the president of let me see how I can put this. I'm the president of the New York Knicks B team, essentially. So it's a minor league team. We don't really have it in football, but their minor league team is where they kind of filter their young players through and develop them and then bring them up to the big team. So I run that team.
It's like the under 23 situation.
Exactly, something like that, yeah. Similar to that. So I run that team for the New York Knicks.
No, that's fantastic, man. So we appreciate you for being on here, Pops. It's a pleasure. So for everyone that doesn't know, Pops and I are like boys from back in the day. We went to the same school together. played on the same basketball team. At one point, I was better than him, but there you go. Man.
Yeah, at one point,
Then,
for as long
yeah,
as
It could have been you over there.
as long
I
as the
know,
game was
I
tied for Crystal
know.
Palace today, that's as long as.
And then he just
better
grew.
than
He's a
me.
monster now, and I'm only.
That's how long he was better than me.
But now, Pops, pleasure, man.
For that length of time. Yeah.
But now, Pops.
Nah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, now crazy. Yeah, Pops, love, man.
Bless.
Shout me in a bit.
Fellas, man, have a good one, man.
Nice one.
Okay.
All right, boys. So before we wrap up, because I'm not going to keep you guys on it too long, tomorrow we've got Chelsea versus Everton, 6 p.m. kickoff on BT Sport, and then obviously we've touched on West Ham versus Leeds. What are your guys' predictions for the Chelsea Everton game?
I feel like Chelsea are going to win that game. To be honest,
Chelsea
which is
will win
like
that.
for us, I could do with a draw, but I can see Chelsea winning like 3-1. No, 3-3. I'm going to say 3-2. I'm going to say 3-2. I think it'd be a high scoring game. So
Jay, what are you saying?
Where they playing at home? Where's Chelsea playing, home or away?
Chelsea are at home, so it's at Stamford Bridge.
Everton just come off the back of a win at Liverpool as well, didn't they? That was their last game, wasn't it?
No, they played
had the game after.
No,
They
they
played
beat
the game
West
after
Brom
that.
1-0. I think they beat West Brom 1-0.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
they
the
beat
Charleston scored again.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
3 games in a row.
I'm getting a draw, you know. I'm getting a 1-1.
I'd like that.
I think I'm going to go big 3-0 Chelsea.
Wow, you guys.
I think Chelsea are just going to beat everyone in their path now.
Actually, I want to change to 2-0. Actually, I do feel 2-0.
Wow.
When I said that for 3-2, 2-0 Chelsea.
No faith. You know what? I'm going to back Everton and say that I think that Everton will get a result tomorrow. I think that we've kind of overlooked Everton this year because there's been some other teams that are doing well, but Everton have been slyly playing good football. And Ancelotti knows his ball. And I think that Everton will get a result. I think it will be a draw. But I don't... For me, yes, Chelsea have been picking up results, but they haven't been that convincing in a lot of the games. They've kind of...
Really? I think the last 3 games, I thought they've looked quite good.
I don't know, man.
They play well, they swarm people, they score goals, they're strong in defence. I just think they look... I think they'll win the league next year. I've said this before, isn't it?
They've been winning games 1-0 here or there. You know, they've had a few draws in there as well. I don't think they're as good as people are making them out to be. I do think the new manager.
I think they are. I think they've got the second best squad.
Yeah, they are on a new manager bounce. But the thing is with their squad, they need to. There's a lot of question marks over their squad. On paper, they have a great squad, but in actuality, like a lot of them players, them big players, need to step up and put like the.
Well, remember, it's still new, though, isn't it? It's still their first season, so I think.
True. But there's no guarantee that they will go and that's the thing. It's all on the manager. And then next season, they need to try and... you could be right. They could go on and win it all. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
They have to
do something. Well, Chelsea has the funds just to go and buy again. You know, is this Chelsea? You know, Chelsea don't wait for no one.
With Roman, he went through that period where he lost a bit of interest, didn't it? Like, and then he just decided to spend again.
Yeah. There was a point where he wasn't back in the team. So it's But yeah,
you never know.
I think it's by default though as well. Though I think with the Lampard situation, there's a little bit of default in there. But yeah, and I'm sure FFP was all over him as well. But he just went ham this summer. I think he's going to go big again. I think he gets either Haaland or one of those big strikers in the world. I think he'll.
I've read that Haaland might be getting Munich.
Oh really? Is that the new
one?
one?
Really?
Munich look interested in Munich come. He'll probably go Munich.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy. And Dan, what's your thoughts? Because obviously, Declan Rice, who I think is another. When we talk about underrated players, I think Declan Rice is such a good talent. I think he's such a good player, man. But there's a lot of links to him. Of him going to Chelsea. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, you know more about the team and that than us. What's is there any talks of that from your boys or?
No, I mean, obviously the strong links were there. The links were stronger when Lampard was in charge because, like, he really, really wanted him. I'm not sure about how Tuchel feels. I think that's died down a bit. But the thing is with Rice, he's like 21 years old. There's no rush for him to get that move right now. I think he's happy. We're pushing up the table. He's the captain when Noble isn't in the side. As long as, and Moyes came out and said this, that Rice is basically pushing him to bring in better players because he wants to see the team grow. I don't think he wants to leave, but he wants to see West Ham kick on. Like, and if he's going to stay at the club, we need to try and match his ambition. So, like, for him to be 22 years old, like people were talking about Kane not needing to leave right now or whatever, but Rice really don't need to leave. He could just chill for another 5 years and then move to like a Man City or something. I'm not saying that he will definitely wait 5 years if we're not really trying to do it progress, but you know what I mean, at least another few years he can still stay here and keep improve, because he's improving like every season. So I can't see him leave. Yeah, and the thing is with Chelsea, their fan base, you saw the way they started like just slating Mount like throughout the season, like early season. They were just giving Mount like just all sorts of like pelters, and then now he's picked up. They're all behind Mount, but they don't really back their young players like that. They're not a team.
They murder English players as well. They just murder English careers.
Yeah, look what they did to Drinkwater. Look what they did to Ross Barkley. I see they've set
Scott Parker,
yeah.
Wright Phillips.
I think this is right. Rice goes there right now, and he potentially gets ruined because Chelsea rotate their managers every other year. A manager comes in, they need to obviously make their mark, and usually the British youngsters get thrown out, and they bring someone else.
There's never no stakeability at Chelsea.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes the player need like right now, which is why like regardless, I'm happy for Moyes to continue. Obviously, he's done a great job, but even if he was mid-table, like we need stability, and I think he's at that age where he needs that stability as well. And as long as he's playing next to Souček, and it's like a breath of fresh air from him. Like, because I love Noble, but when he was playing with Noble, like he was having to do a lot of that dirty work more so.
Yeah.
And I think it's happy, and that's just the thing with Chelsea. They're not known for developing young players. Like you've seen how many like great players that they've sold out to, like who've gone on to be amazing, you know, the Salahs, the De Bruyne's, Lukaku's, all of that. They're just not that squad. They just go and buy the ready-made, you know, superstars in and
28-year-olds. Yeah.
So I honestly, if I was him, I would keep doing his thing, and I think he could get into Man City when a spot comes available, and then actually he should be, and then he can win some serious trophies and not have that instability at Chelsea.
No, that's a good shout. And
but his best friend's at Chelsea, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
is it Mason Mount his best friend or something like
that? Yeah, they're best friends.
But his other best friend, Ryan Fredericks, is at West Ham. Like, so that's his other. I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're proper, and that's the thing. Like, he's got loads of friends. Like, so he's so happy in the squad. I think that is the hook. Obviously, he's a Chelsea boy. He came from Chelsea, but at the same time, they sacked him off. They were like, "No, you're not good enough for Chelsea." We came in, we took him, we developed him in our academy, we gave him a chance early, and
he was a defender first, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a centre back. Yeah, that was his position, and that is another thing that Chelsea was talking about. They want to put because they need a centre back. So they're probably going to likely put him at centre-back, where he's loving playing in the midfield at the moment. And that's where he sees his future. He's trying to work more on his attacking game and getting forward more. And you can see him in every game. He's trying to take shots. He's trying to take free kicks. Like he wants to be a midfielder. And if a team comes along and go, yeah, we want to sign you, we could be competing, but we want to put you back at centre-back. That's another thing against it. And
don't do it. Look what happened with the Eric Dyer experiment. Please don't do it. Don't ruin it. And I was Eric Dyer's biggest fan, but he's not that guy, man. I've just got to be real. He's not that guy, and I don't want to see that happen to Declan Rice, because Declan Rice is a very good player, and the whole centre back.
So you're not singing that "I love Eric Dyer"?
No. And it's to be fair, going back to that, it's no surprise that Eric Dyer's been dropped out of the centre back pairing, and now we've gone with Toby and Sanchez, and we picked up 3 wins in a row. Because Sanchez can be a bit erratic. He's a great athlete. You know, he's quick, he's powerful, but he needs somebody like Toby next to him who can marshal and shepherd the game, read it, and do all the other stuff.
He scored a great goal for us against you guys earlier in the season at your ground, didn't it, Sanchez? Like, he scored that great goal for us.
Man, that's when we crumbled. That 3-3, yeah.
We all got to agree though. That Lanzini goal has to be goal of the season. It has to be.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it'll be up there. I can't
Because-
think of anything else right now that was that goal was just crazy. Like he could hit them 100 more times and he won't score that goal.
He won't score a goal like that.
There's no other goal as well. There's no other goal of that caliber that had the same impact.
Meaning,
to be that
yeah.
last minute 94th equalizer. So
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be a fix if we don't win it.
So, but on that note, I'll let you. We're gonna end the podcast there. It's been a pleasure catching up with all you guys and hearing obviously your thoughts on the week's football. Dan, thank you for coming on the first time on Views. Hope to have you on a few more times. Jay, thank you for turning up again. And Sai, as always, even though Liverpool are crap now, we appreciate you being there. So, Mr. Humble SC, but I'll let
He's
you
not
guys
hiding.
sign out. I know, to be fair, I appreciate that and respect that because I had a Leicester fan booked in last week and he was up for it. Leicester season ticket holder from Leicester, an authentic fan. And obviously after they got beaten by Arsenal, the guy went MIA on me. So I do appreciate when people turn up after a bad result. It means a lot. And it says a lot about their character. Told Pat about Dyer, but he didn't want to listen. It happens, man. You always got a backdoor boy, but yeah, he's not that guy. But Dan, thank you for coming on. Like I said earlier, where can we find you and where can we follow you?
Yeah. Well, of course, personally at the Lawless on Twitter, and then West Ham Fan TV on everything else. We'll be doing a watch along on our channel for the Leeds game, so you can come watch the game with us and see me being a bag of nerves like I am every single game. But hopefully, you'll see the celebrations. And yeah, come and check it out.
Wicked. And Mr. Jason Alex.
Yeah, man. Catch me on Twitter, Mr. Jason Alex. Same for Instagram. But yeah, I'm more active on Twitter because the football thing. So everything Arsenal on my Twitter.
You'll always see me and Jay arguing on Twitter. We had a little Dakar on Saturday, so so that was quite funny and entertaining. And our last one, side, where can we find you?
You can find me on coleharden.co.uk, estate agent for you guys who don't know. If you need any help with selling, buying, renting, anything, you name it, you can shout me. So it's www.coleharden.co.uk.
Yep. And as you all know, I'm Patrick Tyrant. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, it represents T. Let's go. And people always ask me what that means. I mean, the Patrick and the Tyrant is the P and the T, but also T is from Tottenham. And obviously when you see Tottenham, you see me because, that's the team I rep. So there you go. You learn something new about your peoples every day. But on that note, thank you for tuning in for everyone's A Pundit episode 65. Yeah, there you go. I usually do that. Because I'm hosting, I'm kind of like maintaining myself a bit, because it's about you guys and not me. So yeah, we appreciate you for coming on. This is episode 65. We're signing out. So peace, everyone. To the next one.
Nice one.
Nice one.
Peace.